Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Hey, have you ever walked into somebody's house, or maybe you saw a room or a house on TV and you're like, whoa, that is just beautiful. I don't know how they did that. How can I do that? Many times you can, but not alone. Therein lies a interior designer to walk that journey with you because they've got insight. They've got training. They can show you the ins and outs of purchasing different products for that room or home. What are the other benefits for working with an interior designer? We're going to talk about that today. We've got one of the best. She's amazing. Over these last number of podcasts, we've been checking out some of her work. It's Sandy Schuster, Decorating Den Interiors, and she's back with us. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, good to have you back. We're going to get deeper into the process today. Along the way, we've looked at examples of your work before and afters, little tricks of the trade, how you did what you did, which I loved. It's almost as if, we're peeling back the curtains on the performance and seeing how it's all done behind the scenes. But what are some of the benefits in working with an interior designer?
Well, I can't talk about working with other interior designers, but working with me, I think my strengths are that I'm very collaborative and I want to design what my clients like and what works for their lifestyle instead of, oh, they should have this because it's the newest, greatest thing. I'm also a great problem solver. When it comes to design or putting furnishings in a space, there's lots of things to consider and lots of problems that could arise. And I'm really good about let's figure it out. Let's figure out how to solve the problem. I have a good eye for design, and then I think those are the three biggest ones.
Well, yes, and it's the things that we don't see that you see. When it comes to color, like I would never think that I can do that pattern with that pattern, and that color. I saw that in a room and it looks really cool. I don't know if that could even be done, but you've got the eye for that, and you can execute that if that's what somebody's looking for. It's a different lens that you see it through. And here I think is a major benefit in working with you. Many of us ride on the side of caution. We're not going to be adventurous. And I'm not talking crazy, designs here.
Right.
But, we tap the brakes. We want to stay in our comfort zone, whereby you can open that up a little bit to the point where we may look at it and say, wow, I didn't even know that was possible just by adding that and also that and that. And it changes everything and makes it even better than what you originally envisioned. But it's opening your eyes to, you're opening the eyes of somebody else, which we don't know until we know. So I think that's a huge benefit right there.
Right. I just sold a client furnishings and I pulled out a sample of an area rug and he goes, oh my gosh. He says, I didn't think I'd like that, but I love it. So yeah, it's getting people, kind of showing them how it all works together.
Mm-hmm. I got from you, talking about a rug, in my bedroom, and I haven't pulled the trigger on this yet, but a rug underneath my bed. And I got hardwood floors and love that room. That's my favorite room in the entire place, is the bedroom. But something was missing. I just needed a little touch of warmth. And looking at some of your stuff previously, that's what it was. Just a throw rug underneath there would just give it that more homey feel. And maybe a lamp on each of the nightstands. I might do it too, because, got hi-hats. Mm-hmm. But those little nuances that I would have never thought that until I saw you do your thing. I would have, how the rug going to make that, difference? Really?
Yeah, it can really ground the space.
That's a great word. That's great. Yeah, let's kind of open that door a minute. So when we talk about grounding the space and grounding, it sounds like you're referring to energy and how this, energy works. The reason I'm even going there is I keep, all right, woo-woo alert, everybody stand by. I keep a gratitude journal, and they say it's very impactful. Write down 3 things you're grateful for every day. And I was doing that. And it was all right, but I wasn't really intentional. Sometimes I would, before I run off to work, let me just run in there, write something great. I mean it when I write it, but I wasn't really in the moment. And somebody said to me, you know what? Do it before bed. And when you're doing it, put your feet on the floor so you ground. You ground yourself.
Oh.
And they said, and I just heard this, so I haven't tried it yet. In 14 days, you'll notice a big difference. You do it before bed, you'll sleep better. So to that point of the grounding, maybe that's what you're talking about. Just grounding the whole area so it's got a totally different look. The psychology of the design. Let's talk about that. What goes into that when you're working with somebody?
Well, and that's maybe what I mean by grounded. It's kind of a place to just kind of grounds the space, and it kind of brings it all together. But yeah, from a psychology perspective, I mean, I think your space and how you feel in your space is a big deal. I mean, I had a client that had just a lot of clutter around and stuff that she kind of had hung on to. She wasn't a hoarder, but just lots of stuff. And when she downsized and got rid of things, and I was able to put things in the space that would organize her space, she felt better in her space. In fact, she felt better having people over. She loves to entertain. She felt proud of her space, and like she would want to bring people in and more comfortable in her space instead of seeing all the chaos. I mean, if you got a lot of chaos and disorganization in your home, you're probably going to feel that. You're not going to feel as
Grounded.
Grounded. That's a good word.
That's really what it is. And somebody told me years ago, somebody who's very intuitive, has some interesting abilities, and I believe it because even though they're a friend, I would question what they come up with. And they even said that when you have disarray, things just out of place, even if it's a couple of boxes, you're in transition, you haven't really moved your boxes around, whatever it is, you are blocking the flow of energy, and that is blocking you. And you're not going to know why you feel sort of out of sorts, but that's really what's going on. There's a block of flow of the actual energy. So once you change, obviously get rid of the clutter, but change the makeup of the room, there's a different flow and you feel better. You can't put your finger on it. It's like something's bad. Something's different. It's better. I'm not really sure what it is.
There's a place to sit. There's a place to read. There's a place to meditate. There's a place to enjoy your family. Yeah.
How did you know that interior design was right for you?
Well, I grew up in a family there were 6 of us kids, 5 girls and a boy. And I was second in line. And I was always cleaning up after everybody. I wanted things to be neat and tidy. And when I got older, we moved into a bigger home, and I was able to have my own room. For years, you had to share rooms with your sisters. And my parents remodeled the basement, so I was able to have my own room. And I was probably junior high, so 13, 14. And my mom let me purchase a bedroom set. We got it at the thrift store. It was a really cool dresser, and it matched the headboard of the bed. And so I started just putting things together. I put plants in the room. And at that time, I was just like, I just really love this. I really love decorating and bringing it all together and making it my space. I'm more of an introvert, so that's where I do my homework. And I love the space. It was organized. And I think from an early age, I knew that space was important. And so whenever I've had a home or an apartment, I've just made that a priority to make it mine and to make it work for me. So when I come home from work or from a hard day, I can relax and just feel good about being in the space.
It seems like you figured out that connection with a space long ago, even when you were much younger.
Yes.
And it makes a difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I worked in corporate America. So I went to design school right out of high school. And then I got married. I thought, well, I got to get a real job. So I went on to get my master's. I worked in corporate America for many years. And when I had an opportunity to make a job, of course, I've always decorated in my homes and helped family and friends. But when I had an opportunity to make a job change several years ago, I'm like, this is what I want to do. And it just feels right, and it's good. And I love taking care of my space, but also helping others in their space.
Did you feel almost guilty about making that choice where I got to have a real job, but this is your real job? Was it kind of weird in the beginning where it's like, I don't know, this is too much fun. I'm not really working.
Well, yeah, I thought that, starting out as an interior designer, you don't make a lot of money. And I felt like I needed to make some money real fast and yeah, get a real job. But in hindsight, it's like, this is my real job. This is my, this is what I was born with.
Your purpose. This is
it's my purpose.
Yeah. Well, like they say, work shouldn't feel like work if it's what you should be doing.
Right.
It's just,
right.
That's the way it should be. This is what I was put on this planet to do. And it just flows out of me, and I believe that we all were given certain talents from whoever you want to say that's from, the universe, like if there's a God, whatever you want to believe in, we all have a purpose. It's why we're here, to make life better for others, to inspire, to learn, and all of that. So when you're doing it, you don't even know you're doing it because that's what we're supposed to do. You're destined to do it.
Just feels very natural.
Exactly. What are you working on right now? Kind of curious.
Well, I'm working on a home. The homeowner wanted a craftsman style look, but more of not the new trendy craftsman style, but more something that was more popular like 20 years ago. And at first I was like, well, I don't know. I mean, and personally, it's not my style. But as I got into it, I mean, again, my purpose is creating space for my clients, not for me. I mean, like she wanted some Tiffany lamps, table lamps, the stained glass lamps, which are very vintage and not modern, but not that I have to do modern. But my first presentation to her, I didn't nail it at all. I failed. But as I asked her more questions, I was able to get her design together. In fact, last Tuesday, I presented it to her and she loved everything that I presented to her. So it was really, at first I felt like, well, I'm not sure if I can find even items in her style because maybe they were popular 20 years ago, but I ended up being able to find things and she loves it. And she said to me that she didn't have a very big budget. She said, Sandy, I've been trying to shop and find things that fit, and you did all that work for me, and thank you. You really nailed it for what I wanted, even though my first try was not good at all.
That's got to be somewhat challenging when somebody says what they want to achieve, and inside you're saying, I don't know about that, but that's not your thing. That's what they want. So you have to maybe go against what you would like to make them happy and use your talent and your training to get that done. It's got to be a little bit of a challenge.
It is. I mean, I like to change things and change my design style, and not everybody's like that. They like a certain style, and that's where they want to be. In fact, she's going to have her home repainted, and it's going to be the same color that she painted 15 years ago. So, which is fine, and so. I had to get myself out of the way and say, Sandy, she doesn't want to change. But she wants her space to be more coordinated. I mean, she moves some things around, and I think she's going to really enjoy the space more because it wasn't utilized like she wanted to. And, but it's similar things that she liked 20 years ago, and that's fine. But I'm the one that got in my way thinking, oh, she needs to update, and let's just change it up a little bit. Let me give her a different look. And
yeah.
But I really felt good when I got it right for her last week, and she's so happy, and I'm getting things ordered today.
So when did you become a therapist? It's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
In a way, you have to read somebody and right?
And really listen. I mean, I'm a good listener, but sometimes I got to remind myself to be a good listener and really remember what did I hear instead of my ideas and thoughts. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's, you have to be a good listener, and then you have to filter out what you really want to do.
Exactly.
But what you want to do is the intent is for the best of the client. So in her case, you're looking at her old school, 20 years ago, she's hanging on to that for dear life with a little bit of a change. And you want to open her eyes. Well, there's a bazillion colors in the universe. You could do this, you could do that. Look what you could do. but some people are stuck in their ways, and you have to respect that, and that's all good.
Yeah.
That's all good. That's, she got,
Yeah.
that's what she wanted.
And you know what I loved about it is she was honest with me. She was like, Sandy, I don't like that. No. And then when she didn't like stuff, I could probe and say, okay, let's go into, and then we went online and looked at some things so I could get in the right direction, because I was totally in the wrong direction. But I appreciated her being honest with me instead of just saying, well, I don't like it, and then deciding not to buy from me and just deciding, well, it's no use. But she gave me a second chance, and she's really happy. So
yeah, I mean, she picked up on your energy and that you just wanted to help her, and what she wants because she described it. I believe all interior designers have signature things that they include in most designs. Everything's custom, but little nuances. I get from you, one of them is plants. There's always and there's a word for it, and I can't remember what
biophilia.
Thank you. Where it could be represented in wallpaper that you don't even know it's a plant, but when you think of it, you look at it, it's like, oh yeah, I see a leaf. Yeah, okay. Or you might look at a chandelier or just whatever it might be, and you see a plant representation in it. I think it's great. But, talk about grounding.
Yeah, I like to, when I do the final installation, I like to accessorize with some type of a plant feature, whether it's a bouquet of flowers or a plant or just something that kind of brings it all together from a color perspective and things that they like. She actually has some plants in her home, and I'm buying plant stands to elevate them, to make them taller. So when you walk into the room, you see them in the corner versus them just being on the floor.
Wow. Talk about being grounded. That's what it's all about. And there's a reason that people say, I'm getting back into nature. I'm going to take a walk, because it's therapeutic. There is it's not just getting some fresh air. There's something about being with nature around, plants and trees and things like that. And that's represented in a lot of your designs for a reason. I mean, you're in your own space right now. What do I see? Plants.
Plants.
Yeah. And I got them around here too. And it's, sometimes a challenge to keep them thriving, but so beneficial. They just add so much.
Right. And
it's cool the way you do it. Whether it's an actual plant or it's that representation.
Or a picture of a plant or just a fractal pattern that you see in nature.
Yeah. And it's not like you're going to hijack the design and just, I'm going to put a little plant in there. No, it's if somebody says, I'm not good in plants, I like ocean better, then whatever, you can change it all up.
Right. Right.
What has been your most memorable project? Anything stand out for you?
It was probably the big transformation that I helped a woman make, where she was the one that had a lot of clutter and a lot of stuff. And big transformation in her condo. We did new paint, new flooring, new tile on the fireplace, new lighting. And then the space, I put things in her space. I mean, she had very tall walls. And I put things in the space that went up where she had better storage. And she was using more of her space. Oh, we also did window treatments in that home. So we just did everything. And she just felt so much better in her space. She had retired a couple of years ago. And she said, Sandy, I thought I loved my home. And now that I spend more time here, she says, I don't like it. So I want to feel good in it. And she made the investment, and she feels great in her space, and it's beautiful.
Wow.
But it was a huge transformation: lighting, flooring, paint color, window treatments, and then the furnishings, and
it's a lot
getting her really organized.
It's a lot that goes into it. And I believe that many of us don't realize what's got to get done. We just look at it as a room. Yeah, I'll go to the furniture store, pick out a couple of things. What's a chip of paint? I'll get that done. Throw a couple of plants in there and we're good to go. There's so much more that goes into it, but we don't realize it until we walk into a room where we feel comfort, where we feel connected to it. Yeah. And it's at that moment, then you realize there's more happening here. What's the process, Sandy? When somebody's considering working with you, how does it all start?
Starts with usually a phone call where I talk about kind of what they're looking for. what they want. Do they have a budget? A lot of times they don't have a budget. Do they want me to estimate what it's going to cost? I can do that. And then if they seem to be a client, then an initial consultation with them in their home where I ask them tons of questions about how they use the space, how do they want to feel in the space, what colors do they like, what colors don't they like. And then if we decide to work together, I collect a 10% retainer up front, and then I go to work and do design plans. And I usually give at least 2 to 3 options. And then once they love it, then I do a sales agreement. I collect 60% up front. I pay for the shipping. I do all the ordering, manage all the problems behind the scenes, and then do the installation. And then the retainer goes towards the final price of the installation.
Gotcha. Just to go like this and not have to worry about any of that.
Exactly.
Even just ordering the furniture and coordinating. I just want to get a text. They're going to come on the 23rd. Are you free? 8 a.m. Yeah. Click. Done. Don't have to worry about it. And you have access to different sources of furnishings that nobody else has, right?
Right. And custom upholstered furniture and things that probably consumers don't want to deal with, the right color and size and that type of thing.
Yeah.
Handle all of that.
Powerful backing and arsenal in decorating den interiors, because you work with them and their tools and resources are yours. And then that's get used for the client. Right. How do we find you? What's your website? roomsbysandy.decoratingden.com. And my email address is Schuster@decoratingden.com. And my phone number is 720-885-0019. Starts with a simple conversation, and there's a transformation. Imagine feeling comfortable in your space. A lot of us come home from work and it's like, I'm home. It shouldn't be that way. I got to tell you, again, I like my bedroom. I feel like I'm in a hotel when I walk through those doors. I just do. And I think that's the way it's supposed to feel.
Yeah.
Albeit the bed's not always made, so I gotta get with the hotel staff on that. Me.
Yeah, the maid.
Yeah, exactly. Sandy, always great talking with you. Appreciate all the insight and the look at everything that you do over these past number of podcasts. And looking forward next time we get a chance to get together.
Yeah, thank you. It's been great working with you.
You too. We'll be right back.
Okay. Bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama, like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.